Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're here to rank these players from episode 11 of Survivor.
We are, but first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And then also say hi to Elaine.
What's up, everybody?
Elaine is back. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
You
know, my busy schedule. I'm so busy. It's hard to fit you in sometimes.
You are.
I was literally laying on the couch, and I was like, "Oh, I had something to do today." I totally forgot.
Something.
Well, I forget everything, like literally everything. And my wife and me get into it all the time because I'm like, "You never did tell me," and she's like, "I tell you all the time. I don't remember." So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll keep on top of you and make you come on here because I appreciate it.
Well, that's what I said. I tell everybody, anytime anybody wants me to do anything, I said, you have to message me beforehand because if not, you'll be forgotten. I've done it 1,000 times. So you were right to message me a couple hours before. It's just I just so happened to look at it 10 minutes ago.
Yay! That's right. Elaine's going to bring us the realty. We're going to hear last time when you were here, I think you went real low, but since then we have gone real low with some scores. So it'll be interesting to see how they have mixed up or changed.
Wait, are we gonna go over like where we're at, like with our rankings, like how we ranked them, like who's winning? Am I winning now?
Oh, in our draft, you are not winning.
Damn it!
Nope. I hate to break it to you, Elaine, but
do I have anybody left?
You have Ricard left, which is really good.
That's a good pool. That's a good pool.
Yeah. That's a good person to be left with.
I'm not part of your guys' pool, but I actually still have all three of my players. So I have Deshawn, Erica, and Xander still left, but I don't think I'm going to win those still, but I still have 3 players.
Wait, so who do you think's going to win?
Yeah, who's going to win, Chantele?
I'm thinking Danny.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm thinking Danny. I think that because it's like we're starting to see this story rise about him. Like I know that he had his specific this particular episode was kind of his coming out episode, and it kind of was in line with his father and 25-year anniversary of his passing. And so with that happening, I feel like it's also going to be like the emergence of Danny's story and his path to the end. So I'm feeling like Danny might be able to avoid being taken out because they have big flashy people like Ricard and Deshawn. And maybe even Erica might get taken out and Xander. And so he might be sitting at the end with like a Heather and maybe actually Xander, maybe.
I think Heather's going to the end. I think she's the goat everybody wants to take. Sarah, what are you putting up? I can't read this.
Oh, this is our draft league.
I need glasses.
Here, let me see if I can make it bigger. But you have Ricard left. Highlight
Ricard.
And you have 46 points, which unfortunately is 3rd place out of 3 people. There you go. Can you see? Can you see, Grandma?
Oh, that's so much better. I should wear these all the time.
You should. Hi. I have Deshawn, Erica, and Danny left, and I'm already sitting pretty at 60 points.
Oh, and David's only got 2 left too.
So Sarah, you look pretty stacked, Sarah.
Yeah, so Sarah, you're winning basically.
Do you have money on it? Is there any? No. Is there any? No.
I still owe Elaine fried chicken from last draft. That's
true. That's true. That's true. Sarah doesn't pay up on her debts.
Apparently not.
I want America to know that she does not. She does not pay up.
Apparently not. So if I win, I get nothing because the winners get nothing at Nerdtainment. That's how we roll.
Yeah, exactly. Winners get nothing. But hey, you can say you're a winner. That's always a plus.
That's right. That's right. Well, I agree that Danny could be a possible winner. Elaine, what were you thinking as possible winners now that we're down to this final 6?
I mean, I see what Chantele was saying. I get it. But I just don't see that he's done a whole lot. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So, but it would depend on who he sat with in the end. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if he sat with Heather and Xander, I'd say that would be his best shot. However, I feel as though Xander's had a long road to hoe. So he's kind of got the underdog at it to me. And I think he would pull the votes because he's been on the wrong side of everything since the beginning of time. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
So like if he gets to the end, like, you know, Danny's had numbers for the majority of the show. He didn't go to tribal for the first however many days. You know,
but
what I mean?
those people would all be in the jury, though. So do you think that they're going to give it to Xander, or would they give it to Danny, who he hasn't really wronged anybody from his original Luvu? Like,
that's true.
Didn't do anything to them. So
I don't know. He was never really in with Erica. Like, he wasn't really in with Nasir. It was kind of like fake. I don't know that they.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But also Ricard. I feel like Danny, Xander, and Ricard are all three possible winners. I think
if Ricard doesn't make it to the end and win, I'm gonna riot in the streets. Like this dude,
which means he's probably not gonna win because like we never get what we want, you know?
That's so frustrating. But I think he has been like, I think he's had a villain edit. And I think he's been a villain I've rooted for. And I hardly ever do that. So there's just something about this dude that I totally get. And I would be stoked. I would be stoked if he made it to the end and won. But I think he's in super duper trouble big time.
Yeah. I think they know.
Time.
They know he's the one that they have to take out. Well, so let's go through and let's talk. I mean, it's only 6 people. It's getting shorter and shorter here, guys. So let's go through and talk about them individually. Remember, at Nerdtainment, we're gamers, so we go by dice. It can be 1, the lowest, or 6 dice is the highest ranking of a game. So Chantele, start us off with Danny. How are you feeling about Danny?
Danny. Okay. Right.
Possible winner.
I'm going to give Danny a 4. Now, like 4 has been what he's been around. I've been giving him a little bit higher sometimes, but 3, 4, 5 is kind of where he's been sitting most of this season. And like totally hear what you guys are saying, that he hasn't seemingly done that much, but I just feel as though people like him a little bit more than Deshawn, or like he hasn't wronged the people as much as Deshawn has. And I think that Deshawn would be taken out before Danny will be taken out. I see that he has that bond with Xander. So Xander, I feel, might still want to protect Danny in some sort of way, and maybe vote with him. But I do think that he's probably going to have to win something or orchestrate a big move or something like that to really lock in his win. But I think he's in a decent position out of many people left. I think there's other people who are going to take hits before he gets a hit. So I'm going to give him a 4 because I don't think he's in the best position, but he has room to move up.
Yeah,
for sure. Elaine?
So I go, okay. So I'm talking to my back scratcher. I agree with you 100%. I give him a 4 too, because the only problem I have with Danny is like maybe it's the edit, but they in the duo of Danny and Deshawn's made more of the moves. Deshawn's been more in the forefront, and that's not to say that Danny hasn't been like dropping his ideas and this, that, and the other. That's just who we see put forth in the edit. But I just feel like strategically, he's not been a mastermind by no means, and I feel like he's been on the good side of the numbers, and like, you know, he didn't go to tribal for the longest time. Like, I feel like he's starting to come into his own a little bit. Like you said, like his the last episode, you know, he got to share a little bit of his story about his dad and the 25th anniversary of him passing and stuff, and so that kind of deep dive background thing, whatever, that makes it a little more like, if you're into that edge it thing, like you know what I mean, it makes it a little more. I give him a 4, but I just don't know if he's like going to be the mastermind to like, all right, let's get out of Deshawn, all right, I don't think he's going to be the driving force in those votes. So like we talked about before, unless he rolls with like a Heather who hasn't done hardly anything. I don't even know if the poor woman's had like maybe 3 or 4 confessionals the entire season, which I think's a shame. But unless he's sitting next to her, or somebody like Xander. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how much of a shot he would have. He wouldn't have any shot next to Ricard. I think Erica's starting to come into her own a lot, and she's starting to like be like the mastermind behind some things. So like I don't know how great his chances are of making it to the end. We only got 2 more episodes, so it's like he's running out of time. You know, they only out there for 12 days or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I give him a 4. I give him a 4 for the last one.
Yeah, I've given him a 4 as well, which is actually a bump up, and I'm giving him a bump up from my history of ranking him because he won immunity this week. So I give him a bump up for that comp win. But yeah, we've been saying like he's not really making the decisions. He's not really strategically pulling the strings. The one time last week, not this past episode, but the week before, when he tried to make a move, he handled it poorly and they lost. Their alliance crumbled, basically. Yeah. So that was unfortunate. But yeah, you know, I don't think he's the top target. So I do think he's going to last a little bit here and could possibly make it to the end. The audience also gave him a 4. So he is across the board a 4. Love it. Love it for Danny. But what about Deshawn, Elaine? Start us off with Deshawn.
Well, I think last time I gave him like a 3 or something. I think I gave everybody like 3s last time we done that.
3s and 1s.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick him right there at a 3 again because I feel like he shot himself in the foot. Like he's just guns a blazing on his own feet. Like I just feel like he has made so many travesties and I don't want to say horrible moves, but like I think he made a huge mistake in getting rid of Cheyenne. I think that I just think he's in deep shit. And I think he's played it horrible. I think he should have known, which obviously didn't because he voted her out. But once he got rid of her and then Liana went, like who you got? Like where you going to? Like you just voted out half of your alliance. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I just don't know what he's doing. I still put him like in the top for like my winner pick. I still got him up there, and now I feel Erica creeping in. But I still think he's ranked up there as far as like I think he's still got a great shot to win if he can survive the next vote. But I put him at a 3 because I just feel like he's been flandering. Is that what it's called? Flandering? Flopping?
Floundering?
Floundering, that's it.
Like a fish. Yeah, he's been floundering around like a fish. I was ranking him really high a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to leave him here at a 3 as well because he had built these relationships to the point that they got Evie out flawlessly, which I thought was a huge move. And I give a lot of credit to Deshawn's relationships that people trusted him. And then he just shot those relationships down and lost them. And he's now in a horrible spot where he was going to be the target to go. Then he got himself caught up in this twist because of a very poor challenge showing, which I will deduct you game-wise for poor challenge showings. He got lucky. Good for him. Got lucky, but I think he's still up there. I think he and Ricard are the ones that everyone's looking at, but he doesn't have the relationships anymore. So I'm worried about his position in this game. So yeah, I think he's middle of the road right now at a 3.
Well, do you think that after he sent Cheyenne home and Liana was up, Cheyenne, that's what I said. When he sent her home, do you think he was on the beach with Liana like, holy shit, I totally screwed up?
Because no, I don't think he thought at all as a mess.
Yeah, I don't think he thought he was in trouble at all. And Liana knew it the minute the vote was done. She's like, yo, you just throwed us all out. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. The next go around, they thought, oh, we're going to bring in such and such and so into our 3. And they just, you know what I mean? Like he just shot that whole 4, which that would have been an awesome 4. You know, the 4.
I mean, when you're protected by numbers.
why get rid of it just because somebody said your name? Like, come on now. I don't know.
I mean, I get it if you don't trust the people that you're working with and you think that you have a better shot without them, but you know, numbers really do help you.
I didn't understand that, but
yeah,
you know, Chantele.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a big problem that as soon as they decided to make the plan to take out Ricard, they tell Liana, like that whole. They shouldn't have ever decided that it was time to take out Ricard. We know we already talked about it, but before immunity happens, like you don't know what's going to happen. And if people know that there are games on the line, they play a little bit differently sometimes. And so maybe he wouldn't have won. Maybe you would have been able to take that shot and then you would have been able to repair your relationship with Shan after. So I think that they played that whole round poorly that put them in this position right now. So with Deshawn, like I really have liked his game and I've been wanting him to do well, but he has been kind of going down like Shan started going down kind of when we got to the merge. He's just kind of like one episode going down a little bit later. So I don't even want to give this to him, but I'm gonna give him a 3. No, I'm not going that bad. Not going that bad.
I was like, where are you going?
No, just a 3. Because you were going to deduct him points you did deduct him points for the fact that he didn't win or didn't do well in that immunity challenge. But if he had just done well and didn't lose or win, he would have been gone home. So we had to say that even though he had luck that was completely on his side here, that him losing was the best thing that he could have done for his game next to winning that challenge. So the fact that he at least knew that he needed to play and he had to either win or lose to have a shot at staying. I'm thinking that might have gone into his strategy. Like, I don't think that he intentionally, dropped the ball first, but when that happened, I think that he was like, you know what, this is a really good position for me to be in. If I'm not going to win it, losing it is the best shot here. And we learned that it was a 2 out of 3 chance, basically, as opposed to 50-50 or the shot in the dark 1 in 6. So he did a good job with what he has, but he's in a terrible position. He is the number 1 person everybody wants to get out. Nobody really likes him right now on the jury. I do think that he saved a lot of face, though, with how in addressing the jury and, Shan kind of indirectly when they were talking about, the social struggles that he had been going through and the decision that he's made and why he made it and all these things. So he might have gained a little bit of favor back from the jury, but I just don't think that now on top of that they're going to let him get to the end because I think that he could pull some heartstrings and some votes with what he had to go through in the game. So I don't think he's going to get to the end, but I like him, so he gets a 3.
Well, do you think that he just completely misread the room by he chose to vote out Shan, banking on the relationships that he had built with other people? And that, I can bring so-and-so in. I don't remember. Was it Xander he was talking about? He could bring Xander in or I don't remember who it was. But
I think also Erica, though, being part of that vote, I think he felt as he had a better connection with Erica and that maybe that they were going to be voting strong together and didn't realize that it wasn't solidified. That's kind of what I think is his thought process at that point.
So I think he misread the room. Like he thought that he had these better connections. So if he made that big move and got rid of Shan, then he would be okay. And so he didn't see the bullet for all the darkness. You know what I mean? Like he couldn't see it coming. He totally misread that.
He really did build some good relationships. We saw several edits of him talking to Erica. We saw him talking with Xander and potentially working with them. But then he didn't vote with them a few times. And so once Ricard swooped in, I think that's what he didn't see. I don't think he saw that Ricard had just as much control or relationship as he did with these people or possibly even more. I think he did misread that.
Yeah,
But
he
he
messed up.
might be able to convince Erica this round to take out Ricard, because the closer Ricard gets to the end, the closer he gets to winning the game. He'd be like, what, one immunity challenge away from winning, or fire making to win. So
Right.
I do think it might be their last chance to get out Ricard. And if he's open, I could see Deshawn maybe convincing Heather and Erica and even Xander to maybe take out Ricard next round.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
guaranteed. That's like written in stone already. Moses already came off the mountain holding that tablet. You know what I mean? Like that's already in stone. Like they're going for Ricard. If he doesn't win immunity, that's it. It's a wrap, I think. So
Yeah.
which I don't want to happen, but we'll see.
Well,
Who's
the
next?
audience also gave Deshawn a 3, so he is equally across the board a 3 here. We are all in sync
like
so
we're
far.
on. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, yo, we calling it left and right. We're so good at this.
We're so good at this. That's right. All right. Well, I get to start us off with Erica, and
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Last week, I bumped her up quite a bit because I was like, whoa, girl, she not only saved her butt, she got people to split a vote. Like she brought some heat last week. And so I feel like she kept that energy. So I'm not changing her vote from my perspective. I'm keeping her at 8-5, which is pretty darn high, but I feel like she has like consistently kept crawling out of this hole that she had early in the season and is now in this pivotal spot where she could have gone either way this week. She did the right thing for her game by keeping Ricard and taking out Liana, who was not working with her at all. But she also knows that Ricard is someone who needs to go, and she is willing to go against him as early as this week, possibly. So I think she's here to play, and I would not be surprised if she makes these next moves here.
I agree.
Chantele.
I'm really happy that there's been a turnaround with her game, because we've just been like, are you going to do something? Where's this lion that you speak of? And so we are seeing her actually making some moves, which I really like. The fact that she was the deciding factor of who went home this week means that she has a lot of power in this game. I know that Xander didn't want to give her that power, but she still had that power. And I do think that she still will have a lot of influence in who goes home next week or next vote. So with her position in the game, I think that I'm going to have to agree with you, Sarah. She's going to get a 5 from me as well, because I think she's in a pretty good position. I don't think that people are coming after her next. They're pretty soon, but like, I don't think it will be next. I'm worried though that maybe Danny, Deshawn, and Ricard might group together and maybe do like, and maybe bring in Xander and let's say like, let's keep the guys together and like vote out the last 2 women. That's a possibility, because we know that Danny did say that at the merge feast, the fake merge feast. So maybe that's still going to go on in his mind, being like, if we sit next to a woman, there's a lot of women in the jury, maybe they're going to want to vote for the other women. Who knows?
Why
how they might
hating
vote.
on the girls? Why they hating?
Why? I mean, they're scared. They're scared.
I know.
Women.
The men are so afraid of girls. Like, boy,
So
come
afraid.
on, stop it already.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting that out there as a thought. I don't want that to happen, obviously, but it could be something that crosses their mind when while they're playing the game and trying to figure out ways that they can stay inside the game. So she could be in a little bit danger, but I still think she's in a pretty good spot. So 5.
Sure, absolutely. She's been in danger this whole game. Asher, thank you so much for the super chat. He's giving all of us 6s, which is accurate. So thank you. That is correct. Elaine, what are you saying about
That's the first
Erica?
time I've ever been given a 6. That's pretty high. That's what I'm saying. I'm on the high end. I'm all right with that. I agree with everybody. I'm just in a giving mood. It's Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a giving mood. So I'm going to go with a 5 too. I think out of everybody that's left, she's the one person that I can see winning that isn't in super danger. You know what I mean? Everybody's a threat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's got their own threat level or whatever. But I think Deshawn is more on the radar than she is. I think Ricard is the number one bullseye. I think Xander is even ahead of her as far as the target on his back. I just think she's setting in such a good spot. And then she's super smart and she's super strategic and she seems to like we've seen in the preview, like she sat down and had a conversation with Deshawn about getting rid of Ricard, I think. So like she went with Ricard last time. She's like, all right, that was best for then. But now, all right, now Ricard, you next. And then I think she would be like, all right, Deshawn, after that vote, you know what I mean? Then you got to go. You know what I mean? I think she set herself up in a good position where she's actually she's in the power. You know what I'm saying? She's on the power side of it because people's going to be coming to her wanting to get her on their side. I just think she's in the best spot out of everybody left.
Isn't that so surprising that she is here?
Yeah. And it's crazy. And remember what I said? Well, I gave her a 1, wasn't it? Didn't I give her a 1?
You might have.
I'm pretty sure. Erica, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I told you it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And she came out weak as water. You know what I mean? She came out struggle city. And here it is. Like she's in a power position, like calling some shots now. So it's like good for you, girl. If you make it to the end, you would totally deserve it. It's just you gotta pick and choose who you sit next to next. You know what I'm saying? Like that should be on the back burner in your mind.
She'd love to sit with her best friend Heather, and she definitely wins next to her. The audience, they were a little bit more mixed, so they gave her a 4, but with all of our 5s, she is going to average out at a 5. So still high for her.
I think she's doing great.
Yeah, right?
Good for her, though, you know? You know what I would love? If Heather came out the gate in the next 2 episodes, and just blowed your mind.
What could she do? What could she do? Like, I need to see what she could possibly do.
She can win an immunity and totally like just go balls out and like
and then gives away her immunity and decides to make fire.
Come on, Heather, make it happen. Let's go, Heather.
And then goes to the end and pulls a Chris Underwood win.
I was waiting for that like 2 or 3 episodes ago. I was like, yeah, Heather, let's go. But it did not happen. But speaking of Heather, Chantele, start us off with Heather because it's time to give her a number.
Well, we have to do like fan fiction for her to possibly win this game. I mean, I do appreciate that she had a little bit of an eye-opening moment at Tribal when she was like, oh my goodness, I didn't really realize that you were experiencing that. And so like, I need to ask more questions. I need to listen more. So I thought that was, I liked learning that about Heather, that she is open to learning it more and becoming more of an ally. But other than that, she hasn't done anything in the game, like at all, other than being a vote for Erica. And so, I mean, that allows her value to go up a little bit, and knowing that Erica and Heather are kind of a duo. And so the fact that she has a duo, I guess that means that she has a little bit of agency in the game, because people are going to have to come to at least Erica for her vote. And then if she wants to tag in, she can. So it kind of puts her in a position where she knows what's going on in the game, as opposed to just being on the outside and like not knowing where to vote. So she is attached to the right person right now, which means I'm not going to give her a 1, but I am going to give her a 2, because like she can't do much in this game. I really don't see her winning immunity, giving it away, and making fire in order for her to like have the jury feel as though she's a worthy winner. I can't see her doing anything right now that would allow her to beat anybody that's still left in the game. So for that, I give her a 2.
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice of you, I think. Elaine, are you going to be that nice?
No. I give her a 1. I gave it to her last time. I'm going to give it to her again. But I like Heather. I just feel as though she's kind of out of her depth as far as gameplay goes. You know what I mean? Like I think socially she's gotten along fine with everybody. And I still will never forget when she pitched the dream story. I thought that was fantastic. It was super creative. You know what I mean? To try to get people kind of like focusing on somebody else. I just feel though as though it's like the strategy part is kind of falling off, and then she's not super strong in challenges, which I will never be mad at anybody for not being so strong in challenges because
Yeah.
I'm weak as water when it comes to some stuff too. So, and some of that stuff is super hard, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's easy, sitting on your couch." Yeah, bitch, you try it. You try it. It is hard. So you know what I mean. I don't want to come on down on her for the challenge part of it or whatever, but
Right.
I just think she doesn't have any footing as far as the strategy side goes. The one thing she's got going for her is that she's been super loyal to those that that she's gotten close to, and I value loyalty. But with everybody else that's left in the game, I think she's bottom run, and I hate that. I hate that we've not got more of her this season because I really do think that's unfair when people go out there and they get the purple edit. I understand it's a TV show, but at the same time, it's like, all right, the $1 million winner or whatever. Like, couldn't you just take one or two of those $1 million winner? Because you know who won before you come home, Jeff. You listening to me? You know who won. Just take that one or two confessionals from that person that won the million and give it to Heather. Throw her a bone. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like they could do that if they really wanted to. But I guess I understand why they don't. I give her a 1. Sorry, Heather.
Yeah.
I owe you a beer.
I am also giving her a 1, and I am a firm believer that you don't get into an edit when you don't give anything to be edited into. I think there is a reason she is not in the edit. Because rarely do we see someone this not in the edit, right? Who's still in the game. They go out week 2.
Can you compare it to anybody else in the past few seasons?
I mean, I'm not good at remembering things, but no.
Sarah, I got the worst memory in the world, but you should be able to remember a little something. I can't remember anybody that's been this purple since.
No. So I'm going to assume there's a reason. I'm going to assume she is that bad that we can't even get fun, cute confessionals from her. She's giving nothing. She is a number. I mean, good for Erica for scooping up a very loyal number, but that's it. She has no influence. She's not doing anything.
Hey, what if she's a heavy cusser?
Yeah.
What if she's in confessionals dropping F-bombs and she's like, fucking shit. And they're like, oh, we can't use any of this. Maybe she's a cusser.
If we could bleep it out if there was good stuff in between. She's giving us F-bombs with nothing good in between.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was just trying to come up with something. I feel bad for her. Sorry.
I felt bad for her for the first few episodes, and now I'm done with it. I'm over it.
Sarah is so cold-hearted. Chantele, you see how mean she is, right? Like, she is so cold. Cold-hearted.
Look, Heather's going to sit in the end. She's going to get 0 votes. Thanks for playing, Heather.
Does third place get any money? They don't talk about that anymore. Like, they get, okay. So the second place still gets $100,000, and then third place
gets, I want to say 75 or 85. But that's stupid. Stop. Like, go to 2 people. Like, it's ridiculous because the person that sits in that third spot, it's just embarrassing.
I mean, if it's $75,000 though, I don't mind being embarrassed. Like, no, sure, I'll be no vote finalist.
You would still get the 75. I'm talking about
right. Just to sit there and get 0 votes.
Like, you remember when Troyzan went to the final 3, and I can't. It's when Tony, right? Was it Tony who won? And he's like, was it with Tony? I'm pretty sure. So at Troyzan, that's when Suri got idled out. What season was that? Tony's season, right? Come on, you guys are totally. Somebody tell me.
I told you my memory is not good. The chat will catch up with us in a minute because they all know.
Get in, and I picture all that. But was that the same season as Tony?
Who made it to final 3? It was Tony, Troyzan, and what's her name?
This was Game Changers.
Oh, no, that was Game Changers. Okay. But anyway, when Troyzan went to the end and he realized within the first 10 minutes of Tribal that wasn't nobody giving him shit, he's like, all right, I'm just going to sit here and shut up. Thank you. I've had a great season.
Yeah.
Sarah's season. Yeah.
Well, Sarah did deserve to win, so take that. Mm-hmm.
No, but he got 0 votes. The point being is, like, when you go 3 people, that third person is usually a 0 vote getter. And it's embarrassing for them to have to set up there like Troyzan. He took it like a man, but You know what I mean? Like you see some people that go to the final 3 and they really like Nora from my season. Like she was like, I got a shot at this. And then she got there and it was like totally different than what she thought it was in her head. I don't like final 3. They still get their money if they make it to 3rd place. I just don't
What
think they
about
should.
like at the reunion? Do they get like more money for being in the front row there? Maybe.
No, what?
No, I don't know what appearance
What?
fees,
Like,
like what's
like,
written in the contract or front
No,
row seats,
I mean, no, they pay
question
you.
of Jeff.
They pay you to go. They pay you to go to the reunion. You know what I'm saying? But everybody gets the flat rate. Like Tommy didn't make more money than me as far as going to the
right.
reunion.
It's an
As far
appearance
as you
fee.
know, no, I'm
Sure.
kidding.
Yeah, oh, no, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like I just think they should do final 2. It makes it more suspenseful because it's like it's got to be one or the other. Like what's going on? But you put 3 people up there, and then majority of the time the 3rd person gets 0 votes. I just don't agree. That's just my
I want to
opinion.
talk. I want to talk more about Endgame because this is a new era, new season. So let's talk about it. But first, let's wrap up Heather here. The audience was polite and nice, and they averaged her out at a 2.
So cold.
So altogether, she is going to average out at a 2 here, 1.5 basically, round that up to a 2. So that's very nice for Heather. But this being, let me ask you both here, this is a new era. And so as people have been bringing up final 2, final 3, I think, well, the way that Jeff has messed with us all season, I don't think it's going to be a final 2 or final 3 that we've ever seen before. So do you think it'll be a 2 or 3 or new? What do you think we're actually going to do?
Sarah, just what in the holy hell you think's gonna go on? Like, what?
Jeff is all like, I am Oprah this season. Let me talk to you straight to the camera. Let me show you where things are. Let's mess up the whole game and give people, they got to pick boxes if they're safe or not. I mean, I think he's going to lead the final 5 into tribal and say, everyone look under your chair and let's see if you make it to final or not. I don't.
Well,
I'm so bad.
I just felt like I took a hit of acid. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't think it's gonna be that extreme. If one thing I know, Jeff, the reason why they still have final 3, Jeff loves it. Jeff loves having the final 3. He hates it when it's 2. He thinks it adds a totally different dynamic with 3. I don't think it would be that drastic. I want to see. Do you think they would ever get rid of the fire challenge? Because okay, I do think
not, because I hate it. So they're gonna keep that in, I'm sure.
If they're really gonna do a new era, new Survivor, new era, you know what they need to do? Get rid of that shit. If you win, you pick somebody to go with you. That's done.
Yeah.
You win immunity, bam, you're in the finals. But these other 2, like Big Brother, they got to battle it out. We talked about it before. That's how they need to switch it. Do you think they'll do that? That would be amazing.
I can see that. I don't mind.
Sure. I don't mind that. Like, I like people have the opportunity to win their way to the end. I don't love the fire making just because, like, I like when it happened the first time. I believe it was Chrissy that got that lost the game basically because of it. So I just didn't like. Oh my god!
So mad, mad that year.
Furious.
That felt like a specific, we're knocking her out so she can't win. I was so mad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't mind people being able to compete in that spot. Like, I don't mind that. I prefer that over taking somebody, because then you're going to take who you could beat pretty much. Yeah. And so, like, I think I like that dynamic a little bit better than the fire.
Yeah, I think it would be amazing, because if you think about it, let's say you got the guys that are left in the Danny, Deshawn, Ricard, Xander, Heather, and Erica, right? Mm-hmm. I personally, this is how I think it's going to go. I think Ricard's gone next, and then I think Erica is going to flip the script and go for Deshawn, and so then you would have Danny, Heather, Xander, and Erica, final 4. If Xander doesn't win immunity, he's going into the fire making challenge, and it would be down to Heather and Danny. I mean, Erica and Danny on who he competes against, depending on who wins. But say you got Danny and Xander in the fire making challenge. Say say Xander beats Danny. So then you got Heather, Erica, and Xander.
Danny.
No. Danny goes home in the fire challenge.
Oh,
so then you
okay.
got these three. Well, whoever wins that immunity, they're automatically in. And then so say Xander wins, he's automatically in, and then Heather and Erica would have to compete against each other and see who wins. And you see what I mean? That's
Down with
how.
that. I'm fine with
I'm
that,
down with
for sure.
I'm down with that. That would be.
I don't want like Erica to lose her shot because like he's gonna take. He would take 100% Heather, right?
Sure.
So
right.
No, and that's why I think that the last. What can they still do the fire challenge that way though? Wouldn't they have to move that to 3 or something?
Yeah, I think they'd have to bump it up, right?
Yeah, so it would be final immunity at 4 to take them down to 3, and then that would have to be the fire challenge.
Fire.
I'm not that into the fire making challenge. Like,
The
I don't
fire
know
was
why.
like exciting when it happened organically to break the tie or
Right.
something. Like I don't care
Yeah.
about people making fire.
Yeah, all of a sudden they were like, we want to just make sure we always see someone making fire, and it's like, okay.
Well, they could take it out completely if they would add that last bit where you have to win immunity. You have to win to get into the finals. It shouldn't just be, oh, I'm gonna like Heather, like hasn't done a whole lot of anything, and she is gonna finish before some great players or make it further than some great players simply because she's being drugged there. And I don't like that aspect of it unless somebody wants to drag me. Now, if I will let you pull this collar and drag me all the way to the end. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, I'm surprised no one else is fearful about some crazy twist at the end here, because I am so fearful as twist heavy.
What could they
Jeff
do?
has been.
That's what I'm saying. The only thing it could be is exactly what I said, is if they like make them earn it. They have to win immunity to get to the end. I think that's the only thing they could do.
What if, just going off what we did for merch, the person who won final 5 or whatever, final 3, let's say final 3, wins final 3 immunity, but then is not necessarily in. Like, I don't know how he flips it, but I'm just saying, like, if he did the merge totally flipped.
You're totally paranoid.
Yeah, I am. This is what Jeff has done to me. Yes.
You have gone absolutely bonkers and paranoid. Now you're like, oh, I know exactly what he's gonna do.
Or it's like a beware. It's a beware idol, and it actually isn't real. Yeah, he could do that, Sarah. Actually, be like, oh, beware. Like if you play this, everything's not as it seems.
Yes,
and like you're not really you're not really going to the final. Like you're actually gonna play in another competition where you have to be fired to get to,
First person who drops at final 3 goes off to another beach, smashes an hourglass, plays a little checkerboard game, and changes the whole game.
I honestly don't think they'll do that thing again where they like he tells them that they've won, like that one, and then come back and somebody. I don't think they'll do that again. Do you? I don't think they'll do it again because I think they got so much shit for doing it.
Well, but that would have to be another season. They could have already done it for this season
and for 42.
You're talking about.
Oh yeah. I'm just because they filmed them already, but I'm saying after this. I don't think they'll bring that back. There's some things that he's done, like the Medallion of Power. Like that was such bullshit years ago. And it was such a flop, like he took it out. So same thing with this. I think so many people were so heated about it. I don't think they'll do that one again. I think that
I don't know. Jeff also likes to get stubborn and be like, no, it's good, guys. Deal with it.
He may.
That's true.
They've used this in other survivors before, and they might have used it in US Survivor, but remove somebody from the jury. Maybe that's the win, and it's not actually winning immunity. Like you get to just take somebody off the jury. I can see them doing something like that. So maybe there won't be an immunity, but there might be a reward.
I got one.
Final 3.
I got one that I think would be absolutely amazing. If you won the final immunity, not only do you win immunity, but you also get to take like one of the jurors and do like a reward with one of the jurors or something.
Oh, right.
Wouldn't that be cool?
We just
Wait,
saw
was that
that.
South Africa? Okay.
Yeah,
that's what
that
it
was
Yeah.
interesting.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
interesting to get
It was
a
a
little
lot of power,
insight.
though.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like if you say you're not feeling it, you're like, all right, because everybody starts counting the votes. You know what I mean? Everybody's counting the votes. So if like you're Ricard, you're like, all right, I probably got Sheehan's vote, right? Because she's like,
Mhm.
yo, I'm giving you $1 million. So who would Ricard feel like I need to talk to in order to flip their mind around? You know, so he would pick them and take them to try to change their mind about his game. That would be an amazing, like you said, they've done it in other Survivors, but like that would be amazing if they would do that in American
I can
Survivor.
get behind that for this particular season. Like if Deshawn had that power, he'd be able to go and have a nice sit down one-on-one with Shan and really like talk through that, and it'd get all those moments that
Yes.
with Jeff salivating over, you know. So I would like to see that as a potential reward in the next couple of, well, I guess in these next two episodes, actually.
If they're gonna switch things up, like, and they've been trying, then let's go full Monty here. Let's freaking, yo, you can't get to the finals unless you win immunity. Yo, if you win this immunity, I'm gonna let you hang out with one of the jury members. It's like, yo, if you win this, you're gonna be able to kick one out. Let's do all that. Let's do all that. Let's get
There we go. I'm on board. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do all that. That would be so much fun.
Well, next up is Ricard. Elaine, you get to start us off on your favorite Ricard.
Wait, I'm giving Ricard a 6.
Yeah, you are.
Dude, I think he's banging. Like, I think he has played such a great game. Like, he's done such an amazing job. The problem is that old boy ain't got nothing else to hide behind. Like, once Shan was gone, like, buddy, that was your shield. I think he should have waited another round and like try to take out. Who was the other vote if it wasn't Shan? Were they gonna go for Deshawn?
I think it was
Right?
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would have fared better if he would have got rid of Deshawn, because it would have still broke up that 4-way alliance. If he'd have got rid of Deshawn, held on to Sheehan for one more round, because Sheehan was still a huge target.
Mm-hmm.
If he could have held on to her for one more time, like this time, he wouldn't be in trouble as much. He could just point all fingers to her. But he ain't got nobody to point at. You know what I mean? Like, who's Eric? You got Erica, Deshawn, and Xander. In my mind, are the game players, right? And out of those three, who is a bigger threat than Ricard? Out of those three,
yeah,
I feel like nobody.
Right.
So unless he pulls a rabbit out of Jeff's hat, which is possible,
it's
Daryl's
possible.
been talking about it. Jeff's probably out there planting seeds all over the damn island. Let's hope that Ricard finds something, because when's the last time they can play an idol? It's at 5, right?
Is it 5?
5, right?
Yeah,
I think it's 5. So
for the idols?
Yeah, idols in general is 5, right? Well, unless they change the rules, it could be 4. We don't know.
I mean, maybe it's already expired and we just don't know.
maybe it's forever.
No, but he.
She got so excited that maybe her phone died, or she just turned it off.
He's like a phone died kind of vibes.
I wouldn't put it past sweet Elaine, but she's already back. I was already ready to agree with everything that you're saying, Elaine.
My internet kicked out, or you kicked me off when somebody
we were making bets. Your phone died.
Yeah, somebody booted me. Y'all just didn't want to hear the truth. I was speaking facts, and you just didn't want to hear the truth. But anyway, I give him a 6.
Facts. I agree.
I give him a 6.
I am giving him a 6. Absolutely. He's the most strategic player we have left. He's so smart. I love how he was able to just slide over here, scoop up that little minority, and now he is running the new majority. Yes. Odds are he is the next target on everyone's list, but he should be. He is running things, but he's really good in challenges. I would not be surprised if he wins immunity this week. He's been able to get himself out of sticky situations before. So I'm not sure he's definitely going this week, but he's just playing an all-around great game, and I've really loved watching him. So he gets a 6 from me for sure. Chantele?
What I love about Ricard's game is that I have faith in him. I believe
Right?
that he can get himself out of, as you said, a sticky situation. I do think he's deservedly the next target out because he's playing the best game. I think we have to honor the fact that he has gotten everybody to play their advantages. He somehow got Xander, who has not wanted to part ways with that extra vote for 11 episodes. He got him to use it to save him. And he didn't even need that vote to be happening. And it would be a lot more beneficial for Xander to keep that vote forward to the next round, and then he'd be safe the final round after. So the fact that he got him to use it, is shocking to me. And I think that it shows how much he has influence and he's running things. Absolutely. So I know that Erica is very smart. And so that's the only person that really worries me, that he won't be able to kind of steer in. And especially we heard in some of the after interviews that Liana was really working on Erica all day about how big a threat Ricard was. So I'm not sure if that might have percolated in her head and that might come into play this next episode. But out of anybody, I feel like Ricard can get the votes on his side. He could take care of what's going down. And for the fact that I have so much faith in him, he gets a 6 from me.
Ooh, look at that.
I want him to do well. I have faith he's going to do well. I want to reward him with a 6, especially if this is his last week. I think that he's going out like a champion. I think he did really, really well this season.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was going to say, I can't believe this. This is the first time an audience score has averaged out to a 6. They also gave Ricard a 6, which is really hard to average out to a 6. So he is across the board a 6.
I was going to say, I think that he's got a really strong chance of winning immunity. So if he wins this immunity, he is so, I think he's so in the final in my mind. He's just got to get through this one more. I know there's a 2, whatever. I just, in my mind, he's got to get through this one more and get rid of, I would say if I was Ricard, I would go after Erica.
He might be able to do that though.
He might, and he's smart enough to see that. He doesn't just stick with, we've been trying to get out Deshawn this whole time. He's really good at seeing what really needs to happen. So
who's going to go along with the plan? Right? He doesn't waste his breath on people that are going to say no, it seems.
Yeah. And he's really good with the way he uses information, which is impressive to me. He tells the person just enough to make them come his way.
Yeah. Well, I could never do that. I'm like, hey, did you hear? I tell everything I know. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm with you. And then it never works out. They're like, all right, Elaine's got to go. I'm like, damn it. So... yeah.
Oh, we lost.
That's okay.
Well, our last one to talk about is Xander, and I am giving him a 5. I am impressed with Xander. The week before, I had lowered his vote a little bit because he was kind of out of the loop and was just kind of not really doing much. But I feel like he made the smart decisions this week to use Ricard as a shield. I think that's very wise. I don't know that he needed to waste his extra vote, but that felt like a power play that he could at least try to be involved in and make this move. I think he has been really good at using his relationships. He still has conversations with Deshawn, and he's still it looks like he's in the middle, but I feel he's still sitting pretty with that idol, and people haven't been trying to get him out the last few weeks. So
I concur with all of that.
Chantele, what are you giving him?
So I am thinking pretty highly of Xander for the most part, but I do think it was actually an error in his game to use that extra vote.
It was.
Yeah.
So I can't give him that 5 because of that, because I do feel that it makes it look like he doesn't trust Erica, because Erica would have been the reason why he would be like, oh, well, she was kind of going back and forth. I don't trust her, so let me go use this extra vote. But he should also really realize that Erica and Heather kind of vote. We know that they vote as a duo. So if they would never have split it up, so his vote wouldn't have mattered even if they split, because they flipped, because they both would have voted the other way. So I just think that was a miscalculation of how the players were going to be reacting, and I think that it could put him in a bad position with Erica for her to believe that he doesn't trust her anymore, and so I think it put her in a lesser spot with that group, and so for that I'm just going to give him a 4.
A 4. All right.
Well,
fair.
I'm gonna give him a 5 because to me, I think the top 3 is Erica, Xander, and Ricard, with Ricard leading the pack. To me, Xander's right behind, because if you look at the game overall, like Xander has been down and out since jump. Right? He's been in a terrible spot.
Vote. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a terrible spot the entire game, and the boy has kept coming. He's kept playing. I think he's put himself in a great position. And I think the reason why he kind of fell back a little, and I actually gave him lower numbers last time I done this ranking, was he was just setting back, bro. He was like letting them do their thing or whatever, and just fell into the background, and that saved his butt. So it's like, yes, I agree with you, Chantele. I don't think he should have used his extra vote. That was kudos to Ricard's gameplay in getting him to play it. But I can see where he was a little worried that maybe Erica wouldn't follow through. And he was trying to hold on to Ricard because he felt as if he can work with Ricard better. And Ricard was a better shield for him. So I understand his reasoning for doing it. I think that with all the tension on Ricard, that this helps him. If he can make it through, what is this? They're at 6, right? If he makes it through this one without using his idol, then he's guaranteed in 4. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's like this boy,
and they all know he has an idol. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and this kid has a strong possibility of doing that, of making it through this one. Because Ricard is the bigger target. So it's like, yo, let's go for Ricard. Let's go for Ricard. They know Xander has something. All he's got to do is fake like he's going to play it. He's just got to fake the funk a little bit and be like, yo, I'm playing this. Da-da-da-da-da. Make him go for Ricard and just slide that sucker right back in your pocket. So, man, I think he's doing a great job. And I could see Xander setting in the end. I really can.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ricard, though. I could see Ricard setting in the end. What if it's Ricard, Xander, and Erica? Who would y'all vote for?
I mean, that's a hot final 3.
Yeah. So who would y'all vote for if that's who it was?
I mean, I'm voting for Ricard hands down. I think he's just the best player. I mean, Erica and Xander are strong, and they've both, had some down weeks, some up weeks. Like, they definitely have resumes, but if you're sitting next to Ricard, I think Ricard deserves to win this game.
I know.
And he hasn't had it like a big twist that's really favored him specifically. Like, Erica could have gone out that episode if that twist didn't come into play. And she was somebody that was on everybody's radar. They wanted to throw challenges to get rid of her. So she hasn't been playing as good a game as Ricard has. And I think that Ricard's game is, he could repeat it. Like, I can see him going out on the island and playing equally as well another time. I'm not sure if I could say the same for both Xander and Erica. But I definitely know that Ricard's game, he's a really good game player. It's not just luck of this configuration.
Yeah. Well, I would totally play with Ricard and let him do all those villainous things, and then I would hide behind him because, I can never do some of that stuff. Yeah, I can never. Now, Sarah, I can see it in you. I believe that you can be villainous and be cutthroat just like old Ricard. I believe you can do it. But I couldn't do some of those things, like voting out my number 1 like that. I just think he's been killing it. Like you said, Chantele, like
if I was Shan in the game, I would have lied to his face and be like, you and I, final 2, I would never cut you. I feel like.
Why did she do that, you think?
I feel like she was just being honest to herself.
Just 100% transparency. Yeah.
She thought, hey, he'll respect that. He gets it. We won't make these promises to each other.
Yeah,
but she probably thought she would get him first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't be clucking in front of the wolf when you a damn chicken. You can't. You can't be like, you gonna get ate every time. You can't do that.
No,
And that's-
I think she had confidence that she'd take him out when she was ready, that she had the time.
Yeah.
But he was like, I'm going early.
Yeah, it's like, not
Let's
giving
go.
you
No,
that chance.
well, like a shark, he smelt it in the water. He's like, it's getting close to that time, so I better go ahead and do it. And that's exactly But it came down to Deshawn should not have made that move. That small bit of paranoia that was placed in his mind is what caused him to forego everything that he had done set forth with the 4. You know what I mean? All it was is somebody planted a little seed of Shan saying his name or whatever it was, and that was it. He throwed
that
all
someone
that.
is Ricard, and he's really darn good at this game.
Yeah. But I'm saying though, he should have. I don't know, because it's hard to say when somebody says your name. Like, listen, y'all ain't never been out there, but that shit's crazy. When you're on the island and it's like game day, like you go to the challenge, you lose and you come back. It's unlike anything I've ever been through in my life. The people are crazy. Like people are absolutely nuts. And so when people's name gets said, like instantly, as soon as somebody says your name, you automatically, hey, I want them gone. They got to get out of here, whatever. And I like the first vote on my season, the first vote when Ronnie went home. I told people, I was like, if you got to tell other people that you're voting me, go ahead. I give you permission. I trust you. Go ahead.
Girl, I told, crazy.
Yeah, what? Dean looked at me. He said, "You being serious?" I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "I totally understand." I said, "You gotta cover your own ass, bro. Like, I believe you though. If you say you with me, I believe you." And he's like, "All right, bet." That's all he said. And I didn't know if he was sticking with me or not, but that's what I told him. So people just went plumb ape shit. They go crazy. It's insane. So I understand it, like him being like, "Okay, Shan said my name. That's it." But he should have took it into consideration, like the fact that people's going to say your name. And when I went out there, that was what I kept telling myself. I was like, all right, listen, either they're going to love you or you're going to hate you. One of the two. I didn't know they was going to love me so much. That I didn't know that being freaking wonderful was going to be, I didn't know that was going to be my downfall. You know what I mean? I was like, they're either going to love you or they're going to hate you. I said, I was like, if people say your name, don't freak out. It's okay if people say your name. Like when if the three of us are having a conversation and I bring up David's name, let's use David because he's not here. It's like, all right, Sarah, what do you think about voting out David? And then you're like, oh, I'm all right with that. And then Chantele, are you going to sit there and say, unless you're completely adamant against it, like the smart thing to do is just to go along with the conversation, right?
You have to.
So in my mind, I would tell myself, I was like, all right, well, they're just going along with the conversation. They really don't want to vote me. And that kept me from getting super paranoid. Whereas when I knew Ronnie and Aaron and I knew they were coming at me, that's where I was freaking out. It's because the votes I knew was coming. So I get it. But at the same time, if Deshawn doesn't make that move, then and Ricard goes home and Shan stays, I believe those 4 make it to the end.
I mean, I think you have solid points there, but just to give Deshawn just a little bit of credit, Ricard didn't just say, she said your name. He said, she told me the whole plan. You guys are coming for me. Like he dealt out a lot of information that clearly showed Shan took their alliance info and it leaked outside of their alliance.
Oh, I downplayed it. You're right. But I was just saying, like,
But yes, you're right. If they had said, we don't care. I mean, we saw that over the summer with Big Brother. They said, we don't care that everyone's not trustworthy and that's what they did. Stick with the numbers.
In Big Brother, since we flipped script and went to the new show, so in Big Brother, like they hated each other at times.
At times, yeah.
Yeah, Big D was you know what I'm saying? Like they were getting into it left and right, and yet they still stuck to it through it all. And that kind of pays homage to how old school Survivor used to be. That's how it used to be, is people would like say, all right, I'm in this, and they wouldn't waver from it no matter what they heard. And I think if Deshawn could have,
hard to do though, right?
No, I do it. Sarah, me and you could never be on a tribe together.
No, we could.
You would cut my throat. Now, Chantele, on the other hand, I believe me and her could work together. but you would be such a villain. You would.
I'd
You would
keep
be
her
such a villain.
close.
Yeah, she would be such a villain. I could do that. I could be like, yo, I'm with you. Everybody else be damned. I could totally do that. But like you said, not everybody plays like that. So in today's Survivor, it's just not. I don't know. I just wish. I like Shan. I wish she could have stuck around longer. That's all.
Yeah.
That's basically what the whole conversation comes down to. Because I didn't want Shan going.
You weren't ready. Weren't ready to lose her.
What ended up happening though, for it all to be able to unfold this way, is the conflicts that Deshawn and Shan were having playing the game together. They were never able to get on the same page. They didn't have the same communication style. They didn't have the same ideas of what they wanted to have happen. And so it was easy for him to jump on like, oh my God, she's coming after me, because he was probably feeling the same way himself. Like he was sticking with her because of the society and what the culture and all that stuff. And then he's like, wait, she's going against the culture here? Like, well, then fine, I'm going to go against the culture here. And I think that he felt that it opened that up, them sticking together, because he kind of was having conflicts already himself. So it was just perfect timing, I think, for Ricard to be able to go in and use that information, because he was already having doubts in his relationship with Shan. Like, it was kind of like, if you look back with Big Brother, if somebody had maybe relayed some information that Big D was saying about Tiffany like how he was coming from, like if that had gotten out, maybe she might have been like, why am I saving him? Like, I don't need to save him anymore. Like, let's get him out of here. We don't need to be protecting him anymore. And maybe then she would have won the game. So I think it's just timing
but the rest of them would not have made it to final 6. And that's the thing. So
that's true.
One of that 4 might make it to the final, but the whole 4 are not making it to final 4. Obviously. So,
well, you brought up Tiffany and Big Brother, dude. Like, she is such an amazing game player. Like that whole scenario that she come up with, this old redneck brain would have never thought of that. I'm serious. Like if she ever played Survivor, please put her on my tribe. If Shan ever plays again, and I'm out, please somebody with a brain, can somebody with a brain be my friend and play with me? Because these people are smart as shit. And I can't think of half the stuff these people come up with.
But Elaine is a loyal player, so
loyal. And
they
so
just need
fun.
to scoop you up, and you guys will ride to the end.
I'm so fun to hang out with for 22, 27.
You have 26 days, no problem. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so fun to hang out with. These people weren't even sick of me after 35, and they just knew they couldn't let me stick around no more because I might win the damn thing. But anyway, I take 7th place again. Whoever wants to run with me, let's go.
That's right. Let's go. I'm not going out there, so I can't help you.
She won't even camp in the backyard. She's like, I can't do it.
No.
She's a glamper. She's a glamper.
I need food. I get real hangry. It's not cute.
Sarah, you would seriously, you remember when Courtney was out there and she went from like 105 to like 80?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
like I believe that's why I go in big boned. I go in thick. See, right now I'm waiting on the phone call. You know what I mean? That's why I put on a few extra pounds just in case. So Jeff, I mean, I'm ready. I'm winter ready.
Jeff's not watching this, but we'll get word out to him.
Hey, you never know. You never know who's watching. So
we definitely want Elaine on Survivor again. And yeah, we also want you on Celebrity Big Brother.
Hey, can somebody call me from that show? Like seriously, I want to go on Big Brother. I love Big Brother. I think it's great. I don't think I would do fairly well on it because I'm not that smart, but I think I'd be fun. Like
I think you would do well.
I think you would do well.
Yeah.
Very lovable.
Well, if they would ever allow me to go play another game, I just don't think like they don't have a lot of they got one redneck in a crowd. It's like we need to get 3 or 4 of us on there together and we can have us a good old band.
That's right. So you guys can do it for the culture, right? Rednecks, let's go.
Let's get the band together, Jeff. Jeff's an old Kansas City boy. Come on, Jeff. Let's rock them mullets and throw down. No, seriously, wouldn't that be cool if it was like we've talked about this before too, like if we did like country versus city or some shit, like that would be
that would be so much fun. That's better than brains and brawn. Country
Yeah,
city.
or blue collar, white collar. Like I like
Yeah.
it better. City versus country. That's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, and you can bring us all out in overalls and camo and
Yeah.
have all the city folk in their
In
with-
high heels.
yeah, and have us in our coveralls and shit. We'd be warm as hell at night, and everybody else be
Right?
freezing to death. Yeah,
You guys would have a shelter and they would not. It'd be so fun to watch.
yeah. So like Sarah said, we don't know if there's 4 people in the audience that's watching or not. But for those 4 people, if you ever done the 7 degrees of separation, like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, get this back to Jeff. Those
That's right.
7 people, get it back
Yeah.
to Jeff. We know you can. Get it there.
We know you can. You can get it there.
Get
We'll
it there.
Let's try to do it. Well, you guys, thank you so much for raiding with me tonight. Thank you, Elaine, for coming back.
You're welcome.
Fun.
Wait, where's David been? Where the hell's David?
David works a job, so he can't record with me until later.
Oh, it's early where y'all are.
It's early.
Oh.
Well, where I am. You guys are both East Coast time, so he's actually gonna stream with me in about an hour and a half. That's when I get to talk to David.
And you talking about Survivor?
We're gonna talk about Bachelorette.
What the hell?
But you know the men's tell-all is going to be happening at the same time. Well, I guess it's East Coast time. Never mind.
I don't care about the men's
Wait.
tell-all, but you guys can
Wait,
watch
maybe
that
the people,
instead of
the
me.
audience people, maybe I.
Who's the
Yeah.
Bachelorette?
Her name is
Her name's
Michelle. She's
Michelle.
from Minnesota. She's very adorable.
What was she on? The other Bachelor?
Yep, she was a girl on The Bachelor. She got her
That's-
heart broken. Tale as old as time. Now she's here.
Hey, my boy Dean. They were trying to get him to be on The Bachelor.
Oh,
Yeah, there's some tea for it. Yeah, he told
Ah.
him no. He said no.
I want to know when him and Michelle Fitzgerald broke up. Like I remember last summer they were dating, and I was like, oh, saw him on her Zoom, and I was like, oh, and then
Yeah.
I never heard anything else.
Well, they're friends. It lasted. It was a summer love, you know. And then when the fall kicks in, it's like, man,
It happens.
yeah. But they're still friends. Michelle's actually pretty cool, and Dean's he's a really good guy. You know what I mean? So he would never be one to kiss and tell nothing anyway. He would never spill no tea or nothing like that. He's a good, respectable man. You know what I mean?
Good.
He's the kind that should be on The Bachelor. So for all you Bachelor people,
I would
out
take him
there,
on The Bachelor over like what we have coming up. So
who's going to be on it now?
Oh, the next one's awful. I mean,
Who-
not awful. I mean, he's just
Sarah!
boring. He's just
Who?
boring.
we don't know him. He's
Who is it?
boring. I don't find him cute.
Who
He's
is
His name
it?
is
too
Clayton.
bland for me.
Clayton. That's a
Clayton.
redneck name. Clayton
He's
is
like-
a redneck name.
I think he's a bit of a farm
Midwest.
boy, right? He's Midwest. Yeah.
Where is he from?
He's a.
Missouri.
I don't remember. He
I
used to
don't-
play football. You know, he's just like a big meathead type guy.
So how did he get it? How does these people get it? They just go
We don't
on
know
and-
how this particular guy got it though. He was on this season, Michelle's season, but we don't know what they saw in him to make him be the next Bachelor because
Yeah, like
we're-
usually there's a storyline where they fall in love and then their heart is broken, and so they're like, "We'll give you a second chance. Come be the Bachelor." But they didn't have any chemistry. The Bachelor producers just wanted him.
Well, I'm
obviously.
just full of pitching shows, but they should have a lesbian show, a lesbian Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Well, they did that in Australia. Well, sort
Yeah.
of. There was a
Why can't we
bisexual
just be like
Bachelorette.
Australia?
Why can't we be like Australia?
I love my Aussie people. Like
That's right.
seriously, that would be amazing. But I don't
Would
watch.
be great.
Yeah, I don't watch those shows. So even if I was on it, I probably wouldn't watch it. I don't.
Yeah. I don't
So-
recommend it to anybody, but David has sucked me into it.
You
so
like this
here we are.
season. I know you.
I did
do.
like this season is the best one I've seen so far. The other ones were
The drama in it.
not
no,
that much actually this season.
yeah, I prefer
Wait.
like Michelle was really good at like nipping the drama. She's like, get off my show.
Wait,
Get outta here."
so what's your first love, Sarah?
Big
Is
Brother.
it Big Brother? Big
Yeah.
Brother?
Me
Get
too.
the hell out of here. Where's David? I need David. David's Survivor, right?
I don't
David's
know.
first.
It might. I don't know. Survivor is definitely creeping up. If we hadn't had this last season of Big Brother, I probably would have like written it off and said
That's
no
true.
Survivor.
Oh,
That's
really?
true.
Uh,
I mean,
but
I started watching
we
them
came back.
obviously both at the same time, but like I was always
Mhm.
Big Brother, Big Brother, Big Brother, just because I
Yeah.
could picture myself playing Big Brother more so. And like even I played like real versions of Big Brother and stuff. But Survivor is always like a dream. I'm like, oh, I wish that I could go on Survivor, but I'm like, I just don't think I can do it. And so
Yeah.
that's probably why I'm more involved in Big Brother. But
Well,
I love them both.
Yeah.
Yes, Jordan, yes, get it to the people. Yes, I would do the challenge. Get it out there.
I would love you on the challenge. Challenge might be my true love.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. My first love is Survivor, has always been.
Yeah.
I've watched from season 1 when I was in college, and my second is the challenge. I have
Love
watched.
challenge.
I have watched the challenge. I watched
Really?
every single Real World. I watched since season 1 of the
Wow.
challenge. I have watched, and
Me
actually,
too.
I go back on Paramount like when I'm at work. That's what I do on my break. I rewatch old seasons of the challenge.
Are you watching
I'm-
All Stars
What?
2 right now?
No, I'm not watching All Stars. I'm talking. I'm watching season 30, Dirty 30 right now.
Dirty 30. No,
Yeah.
honestly, you will really love All Stars 2 right now. It's so fun, so good.
Is it?
It has all the old players from way
Right.
back in the day,
Well,
like
I
18 years ago.
Well, my wife loves the challenge, and our Tommy was on it, and we've met a few
Right.
people that was on it and stuff. We got to meet Casey and things like that, and so she loves the challenge. And I was like, I've watched every season, but I don't remember, because there's so many. So I actually went back. It's been a couple months now. I went back and I started rewatching them. And then when All Stars and stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until I rewatch all of them. So it's fresh in your mind, you know what I mean, when you go to
Sure.
watch the old school people. And so I'm kind of holding off to watch
Oh,
All
lucky
Stars.
though. Like it's a treat. It's so fun. Like I'm just like, I love the show. Like it's like the music's so good. Like yeah, it's great. So
well, I was enjoying
fun.
watching the Chameleonator have a meltdown and Dirty 30 or whatever. But yeah, so Survivor was my first love. I thought it was something I could do, and that I thought I would be good at. And then the challenge, same thing. I thought, man, those challenges, because when I was younger, 20 years ago, it's like, yo, I could still do that stuff, but I'm like, yo, I can do that. You know what I mean? So it
Right.
was always something I would love to have done. And then over the years, I got into watching Big Brother, and then I fell in love with Big Brother. I love reality TV though. I think it's pretty cool.
You found the right group of people.
Yeah.
We're obsessed
But
too.
I think it's not just reality TV though. It's the combination between like the challenges and actually the competitive part, and then also the drama of it and all that stuff that comes with it. But The Bachelor, there's no challenges. It's like, yo, I want to make out with
exactly.
you.
There's no
I have
strategy.
feelings. Like come on.
Sometimes there is a little bit.
Yeah, there's strategy if you want camera time, but like, oh god, it's so...
Yeah. Acting like Boo Boo the fool out there, trying to get 15 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Nah,
that's what
but
they
see,
do.
I don't know if you guys ever watch. Mark Brunette did a show 20 years ago. I don't know if they still do it or not. It's that Expedition.
Oh my god,
right.
the Eco Challenge, right?
Yeah, Eco Challenge.
I loved the Eco Challenge.
I love that, and I thought, man, wouldn't that be amazing to do something like that? And I remember watching one, and the guy went through the river, and something went up his up his urethra, and like it was like a complete and total meltdown. And I thought, okay, never mind. I thought, yo, this is like next level crazy stuff. But
Right?
I think that outdoor stuff, that outdoor adventure, that's what started drawing me in, because I had never watched anything other, and then that's what started drawing me in, because I love the outdoors. And then it's like, yo, Survivor, and so it's like, here I am 20 years later talking to Sarah, who's cold-hearted.
Wait, did you know that they did an Eco Challenge last summer? There was another one that was airing. I watched that. It was actually pretty good.
Somebody had said something, because I had brought this up before, because they hadn't done one of those. I mean, 20 years. It's been forever. And somebody had said something, but I never went back and looked to see, where can you find it at? Do you know where you can find it?
I'll have to. I don't remember where I watched it, so if I figure it out, I will definitely let you know.
Yeah, shoot it to me, because I think that stuff's amazing. Like that goes beyond like Survivor. You push your limits. You know what I mean? Like you test yourself. A lot of Survivor is mental. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of mental to it. and you have to be in a good place in your head or you lose your damn mind, you know.
Oh my gosh.
And with the eco challenge, it's 50 million times that, you know, like it's a true test of heart. And I always was just so enamored by the people that done that. And you know, I'm a busted can of biscuits, little 5'2", ain't mount, you know what I mean? And I just admire people that can push their bodies to the limits like that. And you know, I have trouble pushing myself away from the table, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like I completely admire those individuals. But yes, Chantele, if you find it, send it to me. If the people's out in the land that's listening to us that hasn't fallen asleep yet, if y'all know what we're talking about, reach out to me. Let me know what y'all know, and so I can watch it.
I love that your back scratcher is like your co-star today.
Yes,
microphone,
you know,
back scratcher.
Pointer.
When you guys have been talking, there's been times
Making
when
a
I
point.
find myself, I find myself in deep thought. You know, like just really thinking about things.
Yeah. All right, you guys, thank you so much. This has been so fun. Thank you to everyone in the chat who joined us and gave us your opinions. Like I said, I'll be on in about an hour with David to talk Bachelorette. Otherwise, David will be back on a Wednesday night after the episode of Survivor to talk then. So we'll see you guys.
Sarah, ask them what his favorite is. Don't forget.
Survivor, I will.
Big Brother.
I will. Okay. That's
right.
We're gonna.
Bye, people. Thanks for having me. It was been fun.
Bye, guys.